Peter Singer's Practical Ethics and Famine Influencing Morality. Ethics starts with the basics of equality, which humans should abide by and act in accordance. The basis of equality is not based on any human characteristics. Things such as race, sex, and/or intellectual abilities are subjective. These subjective human traits are not considered inequality. All these characteristics are equal, irrelevant to the undesirable of pain from the universal point of view. The basis equality principle is the principle of equality consideration of interest. The principle of equality considers the interest of all parties involved. However, true scales favor the side where the interest is stronger or where several interests combined to outweigh a smaller number of similar interests, while respecting each interest involved. The basis of equality principle gives the equal consideration of interest, and it gives equal weight in our moral deliberation to the like interests of all those who are affected by the action. This means that if only X and Y would be affected by a possible act, and if X stands to lose more than Y stands to gain, it is better not to do action. Humans have moral obligation from the principle of equality to consider all interests involved. While considering the interests involved, humans must be objective and universal in order to comply with the principle of equality. If it is in our power to prevent something very bad from happening without thereby sacrificing anything immorally significant, we ought morally to do it. In other words, if there is pain in the world and humans have the ability to change that pain without sacrificing anything morally, then they must help. In order to act ethically, humans must consider the interests involved in situations equally. However, they must choose the course of action that has the best consequence on balance for all affected. If they can prevent something bad, pain, from happening without sacrificing anything morally, then they must do so. Introducing your issue. Background. Before the recent election of 2016, marijuana in California was illegal for recreational use. However, the recent election has passed Prop 64, which legalizes marijuana for recreational use. The issue we are analyzing is whether it is morally impermissible or morally permissible to legalize marijuana for recreational use. Legalization, meaning to give legal validity or sanction to, use said item. Marijuana is the dried leaves and flowering tops of Episcopalian hemp plant that yields THC and are smoked in cigarettes for their intoxicating effect, or simplified, a drug. Recreational drugs is chemical substance taken for enjoyment or leisure purposes rather than for medical reasons. Morally permissible, meaning that the moral rules agreed with it. It is morally permissible to legalize recreational marijuana in California. The legalization of marijuana in California will affect the following: the user of recreational marijuana, user, the person using the drug marijuana, the family/friends of the user, i.e. mom, dad, sister, brother, aunt, etc., the employer, the school system of California, the communities of California, the police department, the fire department. The user of recreational marijuana has an interest in the benefits marijuana has on the user. Health benefits. Treatment of glaucoma. Marijuana has been used to treat and prevent the eye disease glaucoma, which increases pressure in the eyeball, damaging the octal nerve and causing loss of vision. It can reverse the cardiological effects of tobacco. Researchers looking for risk factors of heart disease testing the lung function of 5,115 young adults over the course of 20 years. Tobacco smokers lost lung function over time, but pot smokers actually showed an increase in lung capacity. Treatment of epileptic seizures. Marijuana can be used to prevent epileptic seizures. A study showed this in 2003. Help stop cancer from spreading. CBD may prevent cancer from spreading. Researchers in California Pacific Medical Center near San Francisco reported these findings in 2007. Treatment of muscle spasms. Jody Corey Bloom studied 30 multiple sclerosis patients with painful spasms in their muscles. These patients were not responding to other treatments, but after smoking marijuana for a few days, they were in less pain. While this argument looks at legalization of marijuana for recreational use, However, it must be taken in consideration that not all medical conditions that could be helped by marijuana are applied to the law that allows medical marijuana to be used. Therefore, for recreational legalization of marijuana, it is also going to be helping beneficially medically. Helps decrease anxiety in the user. In 2010, researchers at the Harvard Medical School suggested that some of the drug's benefits may actually be from reducing anxiety, which would be improving the smoker's mood, as well as sedations in lower doses. The family/friends of the user has an interest in the well-being of their family/friend. Family and friends of the user want to see their family/friend taken care of and happy. As stated in P18, the user has an extreme interest in legalization of marijuana that will be beneficial and helpful to themselves. That means the family/friend will also share this interest because it will help benefit their loved one. In addition, the legalization of marijuana will save many family members/friends from getting jail time for using marijuana and being away from their loved ones. California recorded 19,711 marijuana arrests in 2014, down slightly from the 20,346 in 2013. This concluded 13,300 felonies and 6,411 misdemeanors. The employer has an interest in benefiting from the new market that will open due to the legalization of marijuana. Employers want to benefit from the legalization of marijuana by getting in on the profits. Employers predict that the legalization of marijuana will be similar to the legalization in Colorado. In Colorado, analysts suggest that taxing the drug could raise between $5 and $22 million annually. The school system and communities in California have an interest in keeping drugs away from minors. The school system/communities want to protect the youth from negative influences that marijuana can have. Legalization of marijuana is a legalization of a drug, which the schools and community members believe is a bad influence, given the addictive properties. However, we must take into consideration that the youth are already influenced by marijuana, while it is still illegal. Legalization of marijuana comes with guidelines and regulations that will help the school system and community better deal with any negative effects associated with marijuana. The police and fire department and other services have an interest in lowering crime in California. Legalization of marijuana will do this. The illegal market on marijuana provides funds for criminal activity. The role of police officers, firemen, is to protect the community and keep it safe. Legalization of marijuana will help cut off funding for criminals, which in turn will help keep the crime rate down because they will have less money to fund their plans. Police officers will have more time and money to pursue criminals for other crimes, including those involving violence. This is an interest for police officers because the legalization of marijuana will allow them to focus on tougher crime and increase protection in the community. An increase in protection in the community will benefit people within the community. Legalization in the whole state of California means that this will apply to almost all Californians. This is interest and beneficial to all who live in the community. One study estimates that nationwide marijuana legalization will save governments $8.7 billion each year. We need to think about how we can minimize the harm drugs cause and not automatically assume that law enforcement will do that. Legalization may be the way to go, or discrimination for the possession of small amounts. If we take the drug out of the hands of illegal markets by letting people grow 3 or 5 marijuana plants and not make the possession of small quantities a criminal offense, perhaps the market will drop. This is a quote from Peter Singer himself. Now that we have considered all the interests involved, we must look at any bad pain that the person in this situation. As long as we do not sacrifice any important morally we must help. All these characteristics are equally irrelevant to the undesirable of pain from the universal point of view. Considering the interest of the user, family/friends, police/fire department, there is pain in not legalizing marijuana. The user could be experiencing pain, and the use of marijuana could help prevent said pain. As already stated, not all medical conditions that could be helped by marijuana are applied to the law that allows medical use for marijuana. Therefore, the recreational legalization of marijuana is also going to be beneficial medically. Family/friends have pain from their loved ones being arrested for the use of marijuana. Considering the positive effects marijuana could have on the user, the arrest added on is more pain. This could be prevented by legalizing marijuana. The police/fire department, as put in place to protect and keep the community safe, there's a lot of crime that these services already had to cope with. The illegal market for marijuana helps fund these criminal organizations, which cause a lot of pain in the community. This pain could be lessened by legalization of marijuana. Conclusion. After considering all the interests of the parties involved in the evaluation of pain that could be prevented by legalization of marijuana, we must conclude that it is morally permissible to legalize marijuana.